Alright guys, yesterday was a huge day for Bitcoin, and it could even go down in history as the day when it became too late for the average investor to make life-changing wealth in the space. Or at least with Bitcoin anyway. What the hell am I talking about? Well, today was the SEC's Bitcoin ETF update deadline. And the SEC said last week that the spot ETF applicants must file their final S1 amendments by December 29th, which was yesterday. It's actually today for me since I'm recording this really late, but I'm going to release it in the morning, so for you guys, it was yesterday. It says the deadline means that on December 29th, the community will likely find out which spot ETF filers out of the 14 applicants could be in the first wave of potential spot BTC ETF approvals, which is largely expected in early January, and I'm pretty sure it's by January 10th. But if this is so bullish, then why did the price of Bitcoin have a dip today? We actually came down all the way to about $31,300, but it does look like we've hopefully found some support here at this trend line that we've been bouncing off of a few times in the past. And if you look at the 4-hour chart right here, this actually looks like a hammer candle, which means that we're probably going to be bouncing and going back to the upside. In my opinion, we'll probably continue to trade within this symmetrical triangle right here until the ETF deadline or the actual approval date, which is probably going to be on around the 10th, like I just said, which perfectly coincides with where the end of this triangle will actually be, and I think that's probably where we're going to be breaking out. Luckily though, these symmetrical triangles are a continuation pattern, and that means we're probably going to be breaking out to the upside. And how you tell a price target for one of these is that you take the height of the actual triangle here and you extend it from the breakout point wherever that's going to be, and that'll give you your price target, which means we're probably going to be going up to about $50,000, maybe a little bit under that, which perfectly actually coincides right here with this other trend line that we've bounced off of a few times in the past. So maybe we'll see a pump after the ETF approvals here and then a cool off going back down to the bottom of this trading channel, which could even bring us back down, possibly even back down into the $30,000 range or something like that. And I know that sounds pretty crazy, but actually it wouldn't be that significant, because even if we came back down all the way to this trend line, that would be a roughly 30% decline, which is normal for a retracement in the middle of a bull market. All of those S1s were released today, and there's actually a lot of alarming news in these releases here. Eric Balchunas over here on X actually covered them all. And the most important one that everybody obviously wants to know about is the BlackRock ETF application. And this is where the most crazy and possibly shocking to some people news actually came out. And according to this plan of distribution, the authorized participants are Jane Street Capital and JP Morgan Securities. I guess Jamie Dimon doesn't actually want cryptocurrency to be banned after all. And like I've said in so many of my past videos, and so many people in the crypto community continue to say, watch what they do and not listen to what they actually say. Because people like JP Morgan are obviously going to be threatened by Bitcoin because it's direct competition for the banking industry. So he's going to be speaking out against it, but if he's not investing in it, then he's going to get absolutely wiped out, and he really has no other choice but to try to get in as much cryptocurrency technology as he can and try to actually integrate it with the business, because this is going to be the future of finance technology, and any industry that doesn't accept and adopt cryptocurrency technology is going to be just as obsolete as the horse and buggy. Also, we got the S1 for Invesco Galaxy, we got the one from WisdomTree, we got Fidelity, we got Valkyrie, and we even got Bitwise. And Bitwise said that they're going to be aggregating up to $200 million of shares in this offering from authorized participants. So they're going to be seeding $200 million into their ETF, and that's going to be really interesting to see how much it's going to push the price up on the day of the actual beginning of trading. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, because we're going to be seeing all kinds of seeding going on. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of announcements that more and more money is being seeded into these things over the next few weeks. You might be wondering what an authorized participant is and why it matters that JP Morgan is going to be an authorized participant for BlackRock's ETF. Well, according to this post by Sammy Mocha, APs play a critical role in the functioning of ETFs. They are responsible for creating and redeeming ETF shares. Basically, this means they're going to actually create the shares, and then Coinbase is going to be holding custody of the actual Bitcoin. Then I guess JP Morgan and Coinbase are going to talk about what's going on and make sure that all of the funds are there so that people can actually buy the ETF shares through BlackRock on an exchange or through a brokerage, and then the shares will actually be backed up by physical Bitcoin that's going to be held by Coinbase. The APs help maintain the liquidity and proper functioning of the ETF by facilitating the process of creating and redeeming shares in response to demand, especially important for a product like Bitcoin ETFs where the underlying asset is not a traditional security. APs would likely be responsible for maintaining and creating redemption of shares in exchange for Bitcoin or cash, helping to align the ETF's market price with the net asset value of its underlying assets. This means that as the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon has been speaking out against cryptocurrency, but behind the scenes, they're actually trying to be invested and have their hands in as much of the cryptocurrency technology as they can. Like I said, they know this is going to be the future of financial technology, and they can hate it all they want, but they have no other choice but to actually accept and adopt this technology. Here we have another huge story, which we're probably going to be seeing a lot more people reporting on later on today. The SBF case created too much publicity to be ignored, according to Chernovic. The BBC posted an article that said Sam Bankman-Fried, who once ran the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchanges, is facing decades in jail. He will not face another trial, though, according to U.S. prosecutors. The 31-year-old was found guilty of fraud and money laundering last month, so he is going to jail. But prosecutors said that the strong public interest in the resolution of their case against the former billionaire outweighed benefits of a second trial. He had faced 6 charges that had been separated from his first trial. These included campaign finance violations, conspiracy to commit bribery, and conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money-transmitting business. I guess those campaign finance violations actually went to good use because all of the money he donated to Democrats and Republicans alike went to make sure that he actually didn't end up going to court for these violations. And it looks like the only things that are actually going to stick was the fraud and money laundering that he was convicted of last month. Like Chernovic said, they declined to move forward with the second trial and no bribes will be made public. The mop-up operation is complete. Corruption, am I right? Well, what did you expect? I'm not surprised, are you guys? I mean, I'm pretty sure I said something like this was going to happen a few times, but it's just so disappointing to see it actually come to fruition. Anyway, at least that's one of the promises of cryptocurrency. If we actually put all of the government's doings onto the blockchain, then we can see where the corruption actually is, and it could even sort out things like fraudulent voting systems. It's obviously going to take a long time for us to get there, but maybe one day, even if it doesn't happen for us, maybe our children or our grandchildren will get to live in a better future because of the difference that we're all trying to make here in the cryptocurrency space today. Here we have a post from Bitcoin Magazine that actually may have read as FUD if you didn't get the whole news story. It says, just in, Cathie Wood's ARK sold off its entire GBTC position today, according to Bloomberg. Making strategic moves before the spot Bitcoin ETF approval, ? Eyeballs. And if you didn't really know what was going on here, then you might think that she was just expecting a big sell-off after the approval and that she was taking some profits by selling off their entire GBTC or Bitcoin proxy holdings. However, she's probably just taking some profits for the books because tax season is coming up for one thing, and also she went ahead and moved all of that money over into ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, and that means that she could lock in some profits for the people who invest in her ARK shares while getting into another Bitcoin proxy and getting ready for the next ride up into the beginning of the year and the approval from these ETFs that'll probably send us for another leg higher. In other words, she was just locking in some profits and getting ready for the next move. And I know for sure that Cathie Wood hasn't given up on Bitcoin, so it seems a little bit misleading to have this post, especially coming out from Bitcoin Magazine. But either way, I'm pretty sure Cathie's still bullish. Another piece of news on top of those Bitcoin options expiries that may have had some downward pressure on the markets yesterday is this news, according to the South China Morning Post, that says China has called for tougher crackdowns on use of crypto for illegal Forex trading. It says prosecutors and Forex regulators told to strengthen supervision with cases involving Tether stablecoin highlighted. Basically, it seems like people are making money over in China and they're trying to use Tether to get their yuan out of the country or something like that. And we all know that the CCP doesn't want any of that to happen, and they want all of that money to stay available for the Communist Party to use. But this bad news alone wouldn't probably be enough to send the market down any significant amount. However, it looks like the BRICS nations are trying to team up and have a little bit of an attack on crypto maybe, because we have another article here by BlackRock that says India is to block URLs of Kraken, Binance, and 7 other crypto firms. If this was the bear market, I think this would have sent us down for like a 20% dip or something like that. But we've just got so much bullish stuff going on that this really doesn't even matter at this point, I don't think. And while this may have had a little bit to do with the little cool-off that we saw today, I don't think it was really significant, and it almost certainly isn't enough to push us down any further, because now instead of thinking about Kraken, Binance, and 7 other crypto firms, we're all worried about BlackRock, Vanguard, and 12 other huge institutional traditional players that are just about to be entering the game. In other words, the bullish news is about 1,000 times more bullish than any of this bearish news, and at this point it looks like there might not be any dips, there might only be rips. Finally, I want to show you guys the best cryptocurrency commercial that I've ever seen, and it's by Coinbase, and it really just wraps up a big part of what cryptocurrency stands for, and I think it really just illustrates how significant of an opportunity Bitcoin and cryptocurrency represent, and it makes me emotional kind of to watch it because I know how many people are actually going through all of this right now. And I feel the pain because we all have to sacrifice so much because of the stupidity and ignorance of our corrupt government and the way they've been devaluing our currency. Also, I've seen so many new people entering the space, and I hope you guys all make life-changing wealth in this bull market. I just want to welcome all of you new guys to the space and wish you the best of luck. And I hope you'll choose my channel for cryptocurrency news. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and don't forget to have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
We were born into a system with numbers and papers.
And lines.
And waiting. You work hard, get good grades, go to college.
I want to go to college. I got good grades.
I overachieved.
That's right, she did.
Debt is good?
Debt is so good.
So much debt.
I can totally save up and buy a house and start a family.
I want a family.
Oh.
Starting a family means you need 2 or 3 jobs.
You can't afford to buy.
Oh.
You can't afford to rent. Used cars cost as much as the new ones.
Oh.
Good debt is
I was
good.
ahead of my class.
Houses are too expensive. Get good grades, go
The
to college.
system, the numbers.
Rent is freaking insane.
Breaking news. Everything is terrible.
Does it have to be this way?
What if it was different?
It's always been that way.
We've got to build our way out of it. Yeah.
Put control back to the hands of the people.
A system with less paperwork.
No waiting.
Permissionless.
Just because you're born into a system
Doesn't mean you have to live with it.